I think one nation, one subscription is one of the phenomenal policies what we have seen that's been rolled out under the guidance and the vision of the Prime Minister to give access to millions of researchers in this country. So open access is, of course, open science and open access will further boost this entire ecosystem. You know, our philosophy across the globe has been in advancing science, discovery and research, and our efforts is to make sure we contribute to the success of one nation, one subscription, whether in terms of giving access to millions of students. In India, for example, the ONOS actually policy will impact 1.8 crores students, who are in the research field. And Springer Nature is deeply committed in making sure each and every student, whether they are in the northeast, whether they are in south, whether they are in north, or whether they are in Delhi, has equitable access to research is concerned. And open access, of course, is an opportunity to create access as well as equitable and inclusive research. Our journey this year is also to further work with the ministry from an ONOS perspective to strengthen and see how we can play an active role even in the open access policy what the government is deciding upon.
ये जो आपका प्रोग्राम है द इंडियन रिसर्च पूल इसका बजट कितना का है और ये बजट जो है कहां से आएगा?
Okay, thank you Ranjit ji for placing this event and asking this question. Yes, Springer Nature का event है sir, along with Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education से हमें guidance मिलता है कौन-कौन से institutions को हम cover कर सकते हैं और Springer Nature of course इसको पूरा initiative को run करता है. बजट को लेकर मेरी टीम आपसे टच कर सकती है to give you further details. खासकर सर हमारा इम्पोर्टेंस ये रहता है कि जितने भी रिसर्चर्स इंडिया में हैं उनकी नीड्स क्या हैं बिकॉज दिल्ली मुंबई पुणे हैदराबाद अहमदाबाद यहाँ पे इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं रिसर्चर्स है टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज छोटे छोटे शहरों में रिसर्चर्स का नीड्स क्या है रिसर्च एक्सेस को लेकर कंटेंट को लेकर रिसर्च पब्लिकेशंस को लेकर रिसर्च इंटीग्रिटी को लेकर इन खास मुद्दों पे हमें जागरूकता उन लोगों देना अवेयरनेस देना बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है. सो हम जितने भी शहर जाते हैं जितने भी सिटीज जाते हैं वहाँ पे एक दिन का एक रिसर्च फोरम ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं भले वो IIT हो या छोटा सा इंस्टीट्यूशन हो और वहाँ पे जितने भी रिसर्च जगत से जुड़े हुए लोग स्टूडेंट्स हो प्रोफेसर्स हो उन सबको रिसर्च किस तरीके से कंडक्ट करते हैं एडवांसिंग रिसर्च कैसा हो रहा है दुनिया भर में और खासकर उनकी नीड्स क्या क्या है. खासकर पिछले साल हमने जो रिसर्च इंटीग्रिटी का एक रिसर्च पोर्टल हमने लॉन्च करा था रिसर्च इंटीग्रिटी को बढ़ावा देने के लिए. इससे रिसर्च साइंटिफिक रिसर्च जगत के लिए बहुत सपोर्ट होता है. आज की डेट में इंडिया जो है भारत जो है नंबर 3 है इन रिसर्च आउटपुट को लेकर. तो क्या इंडिया और आगे बढ़ सकता है रिसर्च आउटपुट को लेकर और रिसर्च इंटीग्रिटी के साथ क्वालिटी के साथ इसकी तरफ एक बहुत बड़ा हमारा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन रहा है. दूसरा सर वुमेन रिसर्चर्स काफ़ी हैं इंडिया में और उनकी नीड्स बहुत ही अलग हैं. तो वुमेन रिसर्चर्स को रिकॉग्नाइज करना और उनको हर रिसर्च ऑफ फ्यूचर के थ्रू उनकी रिसर्च को प्रोत्साहित देते हुए उनको रिसर्च अवार्ड्स देना खासकर इसी तरीके से इस साल जो हम कर रहे हैं इसमें रिसर्च इंटीग्रिटी ओपन एक्सेस और ओपन साइंस जो वन नेशन वन सब्सक्रिप्शन प्रधानमंत्री जी के थ्रू लॉन्च करा था इस इनिशिएटिव को और सक्सेसफुल कैसे बनाएं. जैसे बड़े बड़े शहरों में तो एक्सेस आराम से मिल जाता है छोटे शहरों में स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं इनमें अवेयरनेस की कमी होती है. तो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं 7 अलग अलग स्टेट्स में कम से कम 30 इंस्टीट्यूशन को टारगेट करते हुए ये 40 दिन की ट्रिप में हम हज़ारों स्टूडेंट्स रिसर्चर्स प्रोफेसर्स एकेडमिशियंस पॉलिसी मेकर्स से मिले और उनके इनपुट्स जो हम कैप्चर करेंगे वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन को बताएं ताकि रिसर्च अच्छी तरीके से और प्रगति की तरफ प्रोग्रेस हो विकसित भारत का.
I've got a question. My name is Sanjay Agarwal from World News. So my question is to Frank. So, when you're going to the tour, this time the Northeast, right? You're taking this bus to the Northeastern region, right? So who all are accompanying the bus? Who are the people? Are your team going? And how do you then conduct on, when you reach? And then question to Mr. Dhananjay, it's combined. Whether you're going to with the Donier, the ministry, and Niti Aayog, when you're talking about sustainability. So how does it work in cohesion?
Yeah, so for every visit, so if I understand the question well, what are we going to do at each visit?
Yes.
I think for each visit there's a kind of special program. I think it's fair to say that we're very happy to see very high quality institutes across the tour that we will have over the next couple of weeks. I think there will be a lot of focus on young researchers, also participation of women in science, because we think it's really important. Obviously, I think, and that's also what Venkatesh already mentioned, I didn't understand all the words, but at least to the extent I could, research integrity will be an important theme as well. So all in all, I think it will be extremely successful and build on the success that we've seen over the last 2 years.
Thank you. Sir, you would like to?
सर शुरू कर रहे हैं दिल्ली से, दिल्ली के बाद हम जाएंगे उत्तर प्रदेश, उत्तर प्रदेश के बाद बिहार, बिहार के बाद झारखंड, झारखंड के बाद पश्चिम बंगाल और उसके बाद असम और फाइनली अरुणाचल प्रदेश में ईटानगर में हम क्लोज करें सर.
My question is with Mr. Frank. Sir,
just okay.
So, yes, sir, as mentioned, so on this tour, of course, on the route we have several institutes across the states that you mentioned. ICSSR, from ICSSR we have the 28-member council, of course. So the non-ex-official council members who are senior researchers, they would be representing ICSSR at all these locations. These locations also have ICSSR research institutes, like you have in Lucknow, then you have in Patna, then Kolkata and Guwahati. So faculty members from these research institutes and also students, by and large students from the city or for the towns where we are going. The objective, of course, is to have very kind of broad discussions on research integrity and open access and open science, and also kind of empowering the enhancing the capacities of researchers at these places. In fact, avenues for research publication. So it will be a great opportunity for researchers at these locations, which are in terms of. So we are going to also go into both, let's say, very deputed and elite institutions on all across these geographies, but also they will bring in researchers who are kind of marginalized, who work in their own languages and their own social science and science traditions. So the participants, I mean, in terms of, if I can just summarize in a sentence, so we're going to have very diverse group of participants in all these locations.
Right. Thank you.
In fact, I just want to add some more, because you touched upon sustainability as one of the key things. So SDGs are very core to the heart of Springer Nature worldwide. In India, in fact, this year in the month of April, we have done Sustainability Summit aligning with the Prime Minister's vision in Ahmedabad. Aligning with the same sustainability and SDG goals, we are actually having that as a core theme. One of the themes of the bus tour is also to encourage researchers to align their research to SDGs, whether they are working in medicine or engineering or social sciences. And we also recognize some of the women researchers who are aligned to SDG related work. We are giving them awards also.
Right. Thank you.
If I can add to Venkatesh, that's where the Springer Nature ICSSR, that's where the Springer Nature ICSSR partnership is so crucial for us. SDGs, happen to be core framework for conducting and shaping social science research ecosystem in the country. So the last 2 years, we have supported close to 1,000 research projects, in fact, on all issues of sustainability. We have broken down the 17 sustainable development goals into 42 themes. So sustainability, issues regarding sustainability, and also sustainability of research is something crucial for us, for both of us. And that's where I think this partnership and this research tour takes a very important, extremely important step initiative for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask one question touching on inclusiveness. So diversity and inclusion are central to this year's tour, with her research, Our Future as a flagship initiative. How is your organization, how is Springer Nature, translating this commitment into more concrete form?
Absolutely, I think DEI is a core to our theme, and at an India level, it is not just about the women and the diversity. Inclusiveness is also about when we speak to the principal scientific advisor, Dr. Ajay Surji. One of his core things is how can we look at tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, small towns and villages and put them onto the global map and connect them with the Viksit Bharat goal. So our initiative is also to see how we can reach out to the each and every corner in institutions, especially in the smaller towns and villages. In fact, I also have two of our experts globally, Frank and Harsh, to talk on DEI initiatives. Maybe Frank, you can talk about some of our DEI initiatives globally and give them some insights.
Yeah, I mean, globally we have quite a number of initiatives running. I think for us it's important to see that DEI is not just a theme focused on a specific thing, but also for instance geographically, it's for us very important, making sure that we get participation all over the world. That's why we're here in India. I think it's important to recognize that India actually makes up 20 to 25% of our total workforce within our research division. But coming back on the point of DEI, yes, we have policies. We try to make sure that our research is accessible, but also we help young researchers and female researchers to advance in science. So I think we have quite a number of diverse programs also running in the company. If we look at, for instance, conferences that we organize, we try to make sure that we have a balanced representation as well. So I think it's an important theme for us, not just because we think it's the right thing to do, but we actually think that it leads to better science, and that's essentially building upon our purpose. I don't know, Harsh, but you want to...
Absolutely. I think research is a global endeavor, right? So if you look at emerging research hubs, if you look at research, the problems of the world cannot be solved just by research happening in Europe or the US. We need research from India, we need research from China, we need research from the global south. So going back to what Frank and Venkatesh said, being able to have a representative across the globe to solve the world's problem is really important. So that's diversity. And having researchers across the spectrum, women researchers, early career researchers, participating and sharing their research in an open and transparent way is something that we really strive to do. And that's how we are supporting very clearly diverse and an inclusive equitable culture. One of the things that I also want to say about PONOS is a great leveler. I grew up in the Indian research ecosystem, and hitting a paywall every day was bleeding your noses, and being able to have access to all global research, I think in one stroke, is phenomenal. So that's a great leveler and creates equitable and an inclusive research ecosystem. So I mean, these are all things that we do to promote a diverse, global, inclusive ecosystem. And that's going to be a stronger ecosystem than a closed one, for sure.
Yeah, maybe just building on honors. In a way, what we have done now is kind of the first step. I think the second step for phase 2 in honors needs to be that basically the research of India becomes open access across all different publications. I think that would be our next goal. Maybe just building on the point of diversity. So my own daughter, she got a PhD about 2 weeks ago in oncology, and so I did a little bit of digging, understanding what is actually, how many PhDs male versus female. So I'm from the Netherlands, and actually in the Netherlands, 51% of all PhDs are actually earned by women, and if you look at medicine, it's actually 60%. I don't know exactly what the balance here in India is, but you can imagine if that balance shifts to a kind of equal level, then I think you will see tremendous growth in high quality research.
Yeah. It's a widely acknowledged fact that research is the key to development. I want to know, are we people well aware of the obstacles, of the hurdles that the researchers are facing in India and if we are not, then we won't be able to address their issues.
I could actually start and then you could add on. I think if you look at specifically Indian research, right, and you said that research is key, I absolutely agree. I mean, the Viksit Bharat, and if you look at the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, very, very ambitious. Make in India needs to be supported by research in India, discover in India, and innovate in India. So research is going to be a core component. One of the first challenges is actually access. So if you are in premier institutions, if you are in tier 2 and tier 3 institutions, do you have access to the world's research? Because research doesn't happen in isolation. You build upon what is already published and what is already shared. So, like I said, almost levels the field. You are able to have access. If you're a researcher now sitting, if you're 1.8 crore researchers in the country, you have access to all research that's getting published. And that's a great level. So this will increase participation rates in India. So step one. The second one is, even now, research published from India is behind paywall. And that's the point that Frank was making. Can you really make that research globally available to everybody in open access? That's the second phase of ONOS, which is allowing researchers to publish their research in open access. So that makes sure that what we discover in India and what we come up here in India is available to the global world. And that also increases the stature of our research ecosystem. So these two are really important. Additionally, participation is important. Research cannot happen only in tier 1 institutions. We need to include tier 2, tier 3 institutions. It cannot just happen in STEM fields. There needs to be research on STEM, social sciences, and that's where the deep collaboration with ICSSR comes. And most importantly, it cannot just happen without participation of women in research. So these are all things that are really important. The second one is participation of women in research. Making it more inclusive. And the third thing for me is really about integrity in research. Trusted research starts with honest research. So we want people to follow high quality practices in research and have honesty and trust in research. So these are the three components: making access open, making sure that what we do here in India is available to the world by publishing it in open access. That's one. Having participation increase with women in research, with early career researchers, tier 2, tier 3 institutions. I think that's really important across disciplines. And the third one, which is the foundation of everything, is trusted research, and that's why we do the research integrity initiatives that we do together with the PSA's office as well.
Are we taking sufficient measures to address these concerns?
I think we are making progress, significant progress in all the areas. Please do not underestimate the availability of global research to everybody, depending on wherever you are. You have access to global research. This is the first of its kind in the world, ONOS, where you have access to all kinds of research. Every researcher has access. That's a phenomenal progress. Of course, there are areas where there could be more multidisciplinary research. Our research spending could be more. Corporate spending in research could be more. So there are so many opportunities as well. But I think we're setting all the foundations right to then leverage these opportunities now.
Sir,
If I can just add to what Harsh is saying from our perspective, all that he's talked about open access and is very crucial for India to become developed, because we need our researchers to be empowered in terms of resources. That's an objective of NAP as well, to make research resources accessible and equitable. Those who cannot have money to pay a subscription and they should have research is a national commitment. Adding on to what he said, we have also been thinking to actually engage with very young researchers, which is again in line of NAP, where research is an extremely important part of the curriculum in the third year itself. In the fourth year, you have to write a research work. In third year, you have to do your research, kind of research methodology and all. So we are going to take certain initiatives, of course, in how to make research training, which of course includes research integrity, is a very important part of it. As to how should researchers in colleges in fact learn about this importance of being transparent in terms of using resources, using data, reading data, interpreting data. So that's something that we're going to do. In fact, we're going to come with new initiatives at ICSSR, focus on very young researchers, those who are doing their BA or BSc or BCom, because we believe that if India has developed, then we need to invest in ideas, and we need to invest in young ideas. And ideas just cannot die. I mean, ideas should transform into research and research into policy making. And therefore, we need to play a big role as Indian Council of Social Sciences, with partnership with very prestigious organizations, nature, as to how we should tap the young ideas of the researchers, and that transforms into research work. And so training is therefore something which is going to be very, very important. In fact, we are also going to come with several initiatives of involving young researchers to do research projects at the BA, BCom, PhD, undergraduate level itself. Just to add on to that.
Maybe just one more, sorry, then
No.
we should definitely get the opportunity to ask a question. I think maybe what is also important, that it's not just about, let's say, publishing, but it's also making sure that in India we create, let's say, a publishing infrastructure which also involves recruiting more reviewers in India, which is important for us, and also more editors of our journals, because only then we actually make sure that India is really kind of an integrated part of global research publishing. So it's not just about authorship, but it's also about reviewing and editing.
Ravi from amarujala.com. I have a question from Mr. Hurst. Sir, research integrity and AI in publishing are central pillars of this year's tour. So, how is Springer Nature leveraging AI responsibly to enhance the quality and integrity of research publishing? So,
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was wondering where is the AI question.
Yeah.
We're all using AI, and AI is becoming an integral part also of a researcher's life. AI is accelerating discovery. You saw the Nobel Prize in AlphaFold, which is AI helping drug discovery. AI is accelerating material science, but AI is also helping researchers stay on top of their research. It helps researchers really synthesize and write their research in a good way. If you're a non-native speaker, it helps to actually communicate your research in a more sharper way. But I think what AI will also create, of course, everything has its advantages and disadvantages. AI can also create misinformation. AI can have, people can just do AI generated research and submit to us. We are using AI very, very much at the core in ensuring integrity in research. We are building AI tools. We have tools like Gepetto, for example, to identify if there are AI generated texts. We are having a tool called Snapshot, which is actually to figure out if there are AI generated images. We have tools called Referee, which is actually identifying whether the references are right. So we are using AI to build tools to ensure research integrity and research that we publish is highly trusted. We also now contribute these tools to external communities, to the STM community, and that makes sure these tools are also available more openly to others. So at the core of it, we're using AI to counter fraud and research integrity.
Maybe just to build a little bit on that, so if you look at it, I think integrity research is actually a new, let's say, development in our industry over the last 5 years. A lot more focus. I think as an industry we're making good progress. If you look at it from an investment perspective, so about a third of all the investments we're making in AI are actually focused on integrity. We have added about 100 people over the last 2 to 3 years at Springer Nature working on integrity. integrity.
Okay.
We've added about more than 200 people working on AI, and with our suppliers we have another, let's say, 200 to 300 people working on research integrity. So for us, it's definitely a high priority for a number of reasons, because our reputation is our most important asset, so that is important. Secondly, we want to make sure that researchers can really trust other research. People always, when they look at research publishing, they think it's important for researchers to publish because of their career. But actually it's equally important that they can trust other articles, because if you cannot trust the world around you, you cannot actually do new research. And that's why for us research integrity is really critical. And that's why we're working together with the rest of the industry. I think one other important, let's say, difference between, let's say, doing something wrong in society after maybe 5 years or 10 years or 50 years or 20 years, depending what you have done, which country, etc. You know, it elapses, right? So you're no longer being held guilty for something you did in the past. That's different with research integrity. With research integrity, we will always find out, because the tools are developing. We actually check our articles going backwards as well, so that's, I think, something important for people to recognize.
Just maybe just to add something to this. A lot of the investment Frank has mentioned is actually happening here in India. We're actually employing technologists, specialists in our offices to really work on research integrity, build that sort of tools which we need. So that's another part of our commitment to India.
Thank you.
If I can ask a question. I wanted to ask in continuation, when you talk about AI, so you have a chat bot, right? And then you have a question. So do you have a website or an app where any researcher or would-be researcher, because today you have brilliant minds across schools, you know. So if I today want to go there and I have a query, so do you have that facility at your Springer Nature or the ICSSR? How does it work?
So if you, everybody is using chatbots like ChatGPT to get their answers, right? One of the things that we are doing at Springer Nature is if you go into our Springer link into our website, we have infused it with AI, you get reading recommendations. We'll also soon launch a way to ask AI-based questions. We've actually launched a new tool called as Nature Research Assistant, which is also a way for researchers to actually ask questions, interact, stay on top of research, and read the papers, so on and so forth. But what's really important for us is also to ensure that the new generation of AI tools that are coming up, like ChatGPT, on Gemini and everything that's coming up, and India, by the way, is the #1 use of ChatGPT, right? To make sure that the content, the scientific content that they cite, that are really cited from trusted sources, peer-reviewed research sources like what we have, to increase the trust in the answers that they deliver. So that's also another area that we're working on. So A, we are providing our own tools for researchers. B, for the tools that people use today, we are working with some of these, we would like to work with some of these agencies to make sure that the research that they show and trust and cite are coming from our sources.
And how do you overcome language as a barrier? Languages, you know, the Indian languages, and then even the, like suppose you're in France or Germany,
yeah,
so...
That's, I think, the beauty of AI, right? AI helps you actually language doesn't really become an issue anymore. And I think that's what we're seeing as well with the tools that we're developing. I think it's one of the reasons why we see that the number of articles published are actually growing. So I think that's a very positive development. I mean, if I look at my own daughter when she did her research, she's Dutch, right? I mean, English is not, you know, for a lot of Indian people, it's actually easier than for Dutch people. I think that's where AI comes into play as well, yeah.
True, thanks.
सर मैं
So this is a question.
संडे स्प्रिंगर नेचर और ICSSR बहुत बेहतरीन काम कर रहा है शोध के क्षेत्र में। भारत में शोध को लेकर के जो उसकी गुणवत्ता उस पर हमेशा से सवाल उठाए जाते रहे, क्योंकि अभी इंटरनेट का युग है और स्पेशली AI का ज़माना है। तो शोध के रिसर्च के जो विश्वसनीयता है और उसकी जो गुणवत्ता है, उसके लिए स्प्रिंगर नेचर और ICSSR का क्या प्रयास है। और दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो हमारे पिछड़े स्टेट हैं, स्पेशली जो बिहार है, उत्तर प्रदेश, झारखंड, छत्तीसगढ़, तेलंगाना जो भी है, वहाँ पे जो स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी है उसके साथ किस तरह से कोलैबोरेशन है, या वहाँ के स्टूडेंट्स को किस तरह से ये सुविधाएं प्राप्त हो रही हैं, स्पेशली जो महिला शोधार्थी हैं, क्योंकि महिला शोधार्थियों की संख्या हमेशा से भारत में कम रही है, हर एक क्षेत्र में, सिर्फ तकनीकी नहीं, सामाजिक विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में भी हमेशा से कम रही है, क्योंकि वो धीरे धीरे आप लोगों के प्रयास से बढ़ रही है। तो उन लोगों को इस इंडियन रिसर्च टूल से क्या बेनिफिट मिल रहा है और किस तरह से वो आगे आ रहे हैं?
जो आपने पूछा था, ये रिसर्च टूर जो है खासकर उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, झारखंड, इवन असम, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, ये ऐसे राज्य हैं जहाँ पे रिसर्च की प्रगति के लिए हम बहुत कोशिश कर रहे हैं। वहाँ पे जाना, उन इंस्टीट्यूशंस को टच करना, खासकर बिहार में अगर आप देखेंगे तो सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी, साउथ बिहार, झारखंड में सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी, झारखंड का जो मेन इंपॉर्टेंट सिटीज़ हैं तो वहाँ पे, और इवन उत्तर प्रदेश में भी हमारी सोच और कोशिश यही रहेगी कि टियर 1 इंस्टीट्यूशंस के अलावा जो स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं उनको रिसर्च की रिसोर्सेज कैसे मिलें, ट्रेनिंग कैसे मिले और उनको रिसर्च की अवेयरनेस कैसे मिले। तो पिछले साल हमने जो टूर करा था उसमें भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा फोकस टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज़ का रहा है। इस बार भी हमारा फोकस जो है टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज़ का, स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ का, खासकर जो आपने बोला उसकी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के ऊपर, भले वेस्ट बंगाल हो, उत्तर प्रदेश हो, बिहार हो, झारखंड हो, यहाँ पे पूरी कोशिश स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ का। दूसरा, प्रधानमंत्री द्वारा जो प्रोग्राम उन्होंने वन नेशन वन सब्सक्रिप्शन लॉन्च करा, इसका मेन बेनिफिट एक्चुअली स्टेट एंड सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज़ को मिलता है, बिकॉज आईआईटीज़ और बाकी जो बेहतरीन इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं वहाँ पे रिसर्च फंडिंग का, रिसर्च एक्सेस का इश्यूज नहीं है, बट स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ और छोटे छोटे इंस्टीट्यूशन जो टियर 2 टियर 3 में है वहाँ पे एक्सेस का बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है। जो वन नेशन वन सब्सक्रिप्शन प्रोग्राम जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने लॉन्च करा वो उसको एड्रेस करता है, और हम उसके साथ बिल्कुल सपोर्ट और स्ट्रेंथ के साथ हम उसके साथ जुड़े हुए वन नेशन वन सब्सक्रिप्शन से। जहाँ तक वुमेन रिसर्चर्स का है, जितने शहरों में हम जा रहे हैं, जितने भी इंस्टीट्यूशंस, खासकर 30 इंस्टीट्यूशंस, 29 इंस्टीट्यूशंस प्रिसाइज हम जा रहे हैं, वहाँ पे जितने भी इंस्टीट्यूशंस में विमेन रिसर्चर्स, खासकर भले किसी भी एरिया में, बोलते हैं वो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी में हो, इंजीनियरिंग हो, सोशल साइंसेस में, उनके काम को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए उन सबको हम आइडेंटिफाई करके उनके प्रोग्राम्स को समझ के, उनकी रिसर्च को समझ के उनको विमेन रिसर्चर्स अवार्ड दे रहे हैं, हर रिसर्च आवर फ्यूचर, जिसके लिए आज माननीय मंत्री जी आई थी, सावित्री देवी ठाकुर जी, उसकी एक्चुअली वन ऑफ द रीज़न ये था कि विमेन रिसर्चर्स को सपोर्ट में एनकरेज करें।
ICSSR में हम जो है हम अग्रसर रहते हैं कि जो इक्वलिटी है, रिसर्च इक्वलिटी जो है, इंक्लूसिव जो शोध हो, उसको हम जो है बरकरार रखें और उस तरफ जो है हम अग्रसर रहें। तो आमतौर पर आप देखिए कि जो भी हमारी रिसर्च ग्रांट्स जो होती है वो लगभग हम 50% जो है महिलाओं को जाते हैं। हम सुनिश्चित करते हैं, कहना भी नहीं चाहिए, कुछ महिलाएं खुद ही जो है रिसर्च के क्षेत्र में, खासकर मैं समाज विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में कहूँगा तो हमें बहुत जो है अच्छे रिसर्च प्रपोजल्स आते हैं, बहुत रिगरस इवैल्यूएशन के बाद जो है। और हमने अभी ही रिसेंटली जो है पुण्यश्लोक होलकर जी के नाम पे हमने जो विमेन लेड रिसर्च फॉर विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट एक इनिशिएटिव लिया था, जिसमें कि 158 जो है महिला शोधकर्ता रिसर्चर्स जो हैं वो सिर्फ महिलाओं के लिए ही ये इनिशिएटिव था, और डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स में विमेन जो है का योगदान रिसर्च में और डेवलपमेंट में, सामाजिक जो डेवलपमेंट में है। उसके अलावा जो आपने बात की कि जो शोध के लिए जो चैलेंजेस जो हैं वो अगर आप बात करेंगे, मैं खुद बिहार से आता हूँ, मैं छपरा से आता हूँ, तो जो चैलेंजेस है उसको ओवरकम करना, उसमें कहाँ कैसे ये ICSSR स्प्रिंगर का जो ये साथ है, ONOs की जैसे वेंकटेश ने बात की है, ONOs जो है बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण जो ये एक कदम है, आप लोग सबको ज्ञात है, जो कि उस तरह के जर्नल्स या पब्लिकेशन जिस बारे में शायद जो है कोई रिसर्चर जो है छोटे से शहर में, झारखंड, बिहार या तेलंगाना, आंध्र प्रदेश में सोचता हो कि हमारे पास है, सोचते हो कि हमारे पास आए, हम पढ़ें, हम जाने कि इस क्षेत्र में जो है सबसे रिसेंट पब्लिकेशन जिसने कि प्रभाव डाला है इस क्षेत्र में वो क्या है तो बहुत मुश्किल है, उसके अलावा तो रिसर्च नहीं हो सकती। तो हम ये कोशिश ज़रूर करते हैं ONM-OS के थ्रू जो है सरकार ने ये कदम, और ये जो हमारा रिसर्च टूर है इसका एक उद्देश्य भी है कि ONM-OS के बारे में हम जो छात्र छात्राएं हैं उनको जागरूक करें। और आमतौर पर हम देखते हैं कि रिसर्च का मतलब है कि जो PhD में जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, PhD के बाद जो लोग जो एकेडमिक्स बन जाते हैं या फिर एक रिसर्चर होते हैं, जब हम रिसर्च की बात करते हैं तो और अब जो चूँकि AI के आने के बाद में इतना मैसिव डिसरप्शन फ्लो ऑफ डेटा और इंफॉर्मेशन है कि आप देखेंगे कि सारा जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट जो है वो बदल रहा है बहुत तेज़ी से। तो एक अच्छा रिसर्च करने के लिए अगर मैं ICSSR के पर्सपेक्टिव से बताऊं तो क्या जो है, जैसे मैं PVTG पे हमने अभी लॉन्च किया है, तो किसी खासकर एक PVTG महिला है या समाज है तो उसकी समस्याओं का निदान कैसे हो, तो ये तो एक जो BA सोशियोलॉजी का जो छात्र है वो उस समाज से आता है, उसका जो शोध पत्र जो है वो उतना ही इम्पैक्टफुल है जितना कि कोई PhD या पोस्ट PhD का छात्र हो। तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि ये जो बस टूर है एक जागरूकता जो रिसर्च के बारे में है। आमतौर पे देखेंगे भारत में अक्सर जो ये है कि रिसर्च को नौकरी से जोड़ के देखा जाता है, फिर सोशल साइंस ह्यूमैनिटीज़ की अगर मैं बात करूँ तो, लेकिन रिसर्च जो है एक अहम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है जब आप कॉलेज में जाते हैं स्कूल के बाद जो है। तो और NEP की जब मैं बात कर रहा था ICSSR में, जैसे हर्ष जी ने कहा अभी AI टूल्स की बात की, जो नई AI के नए जो टूल्स हैं उनका जो है एक इस्तेमाल एक तरीके से वो वाजिब है और ज़रूरी है। हमने जो है ICSSR में रिसर्च मेथड्स के जो हमारे प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं उसको हम एक रिवाइज कर रहे हैं, उसको रिविजिट कर रहे हैं कि इस तरह से AI टूल्स को उस पर हम इंक्लूड करें, और साथ ही साथ अभी तक PhD या PhD के बाद के छात्र ही रिसर्च मेथड्स के कोर्स कर सकते थे ICSSR के। अब हम जो है BA BSc BCom BTech के स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनके लिए भी ये ओपन करने जा रहे हैं कि उनके पास एक आइडिया है तो रिसर्च मेथड्स और डिज़ाइन और जो AI की जो टूल्स हैं वो इनेबल है। AI तो इनेबलर भी है, जैसे हर्षी ने बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स दिए हैं, डिस्ट्रक्शन और इनेबलर भी है, उसके बारे में जागरूकता होने की आवश्यकता है। तो इस तरह से जो है हम अपनी कोशिश जो है वो जारी रखे हुए हैं।
सर ये
one question over there.
Ma'am, you have a question.
I just wanted to ask, like, कि जो cultural difference है in different countries like Europe and America, and you are launching your program in India, then what kind of changes and globally things you are applying in India? I just wanted to ask Mr. Frank.
Yeah, obviously every country, every region in the world is different. So it's true. I mean,
what we are getting from your experience from different Europe and US cultural difference?
Yeah, so we try to, let's say, bring our expertise that we have gained in the rest of the world to India as well. As I mentioned earlier, we have programs in place, for instance, to help reviewers become good reviewers or editors to become editors on our journals. So that's something I think we're trying to bring to India as well, recognizing that India is different. So we also are willing to adapt and make sure that we fit within, let's say, the Indian structure. That's why, you know, we have something like an ONOS in India, which we were happy to support. At the same time, I think the most important thing that we can do for India is actually showcase Indian research to the rest of the world. And that's what we're doing as well. So we're promoting Indian research to other countries and making sure that other researchers are able to build from the findings that have been made here in